My name is Frank Juarez, and I'm a veteran. I served in Vietnam, and I was in combat in Dong Ha, Kaloo Valley, and Quang Tri. And I came out, and my World War II veteran uncle, William Stanley Reese, took me over to AMVETS, and I became acquainted with a great group of gentlemen there. Same time, my brother-in-law took me over to Santa Monica American Legion, Post 123. And I met some great people there, but it was like the 60s and the late 60s, and I just wanted to party. I wanted to make up for the time I had lost, and I wanted to put behind me the things that I had seen, and I took a road that a lot of my fellow veterans took, which is not the healthiest thing to have done. Luckily, I survived that and raised a family and worked for a company for 34 years. And in the process of doing that, I met other veterans, and even when I was 16, before I went to Vietnam, I used to drive a gentleman named Bill Miller, another World War II veteran, over here to the VA here at West Los Angeles. We call it the home. So when you hear me refer to the home, we'll be talking about VA West LA. And the home at that time was completely different from what it is today, because it had legions of doctors and nurses, and it had volunteers in starched white uniforms, and it had candy stripers, and it had patients that were proud of their service because they were made to feel proud here, and they were made to feel healthy here, and it was a community made up for veterans. It was a community. They actually lived here.
You know, it's a shame that the President of the United States, who is sending these men and boys to die in Afghanistan and Iraq, petitioned the Congress to reduce the benefits they receive in VA health care.
I doubt very much if any Brentwood veterans will be using the Veterans Home in Brentwood. They shouldn't have any need to. But by having a few veterans on their committee, they say veterans want this park. Well, the 150,000 American Legion veterans don't want this park. The nearly 1,000 Veterans United for Truth don't want this park. We, the veterans, don't want this park. And we don't think a board with a couple of retired generals on it speaks for the thousands and tens of thousands of enlisted and officer veterans who will ultimately either have to use this park or at some time in their life, not the park, but the facility, or at some time in their life at least have to consider using it.
If Barack Obama is, and I believe he is, sincere about reaching across the aisle, this was a slap in the face of the new administration.
His statement of support for veterans' issues was carried on his website during the campaign is a good statement. The key will be who he puts in charge of the Veterans Administration, because certainly the last few people who have sat in that chair, the last thing in their mind has been service to veterans.
We have not gotten any kind of support from Los Angeles because of the power base in there. You have Eli Broad, one of the wealthiest men in Los Angeles by all measures, a member and of this Veterans Park Conservancy. And again, it's not a veterans organization.
Opening it up to the general public, in fact, restricts it from use by veterans, because many of the occupants of the Veterans Home cannot be released into the general public. They are people with severe mental disorders, some with severe physical disorders. They cannot just be released into that same space to intermingle with the general public.
At 51 years old, I don't have anything but what I have here right now today. I'm not from any agency. I don't have anything going on other than I'm a vet. This team is telling me I can't go in the cave, whatever. I don't think so. If I have to go in, I'll go in.
It is true that there's a lot of people serving veterans, representing veterans, who do a great job. And they're civilians. They've never served in the military. And we're always asking the Veterans Administration to look out, find veterans, bring them into the Veterans Administration, because there's a softness in the heart from one veteran to another.
But I would hate to see us right now get bogged down in these other issues. There are many issues involving that facility.
The American Legion does not sanction the use of this land for any other reason other than for veteran rehabilitation.
We need to reach out to a national, be it the USA Today or one of the major networks.
You know, once your government takes your land away from you, you never get it back. Now, the thing about this land that's so important, it will set a precedent, and this will go on throughout the country, because much of what's happening here is now happening throughout the country. And the other thing is, Dick made a plea, and I'd like to make that plea too, that if you can do everything within your power to make a few phone calls and get others to be out here with us, we really need you, and we would appreciate it. And I'll tell you, one thing that I found, the more that I do, the more that I give, the more I get blessed. So I wish that for all of you.
It sort of brings into question the name of the party, the Democratic Party, and we find it not only disappointing, but inexplicable that a party which will give grave consideration to the safety of chickens are unwilling to give any consideration to the absolutely established in law rights of the veterans of the many wars this country has gone to.